for us. Okay, we're live. Hello and welcome to War Room with Stephen Carr, and we are on with Nick DelVecchio, who is a
DelVecchio.
how you say it? Sorry, go
DelVecchio.
ahead.
You're good.
Oh, okay. As he said, um, and he is working with. Are you still with Early Road Action?
Yes, I am.
He is working with Early Road Action with Scott Presler and is also helping out with Trump Force 47, making calls when he can.
Yep.
Um, his dad is in state committee, even though he does not like it. I will admit that.
Yes.
I'll have to agree with his dad and him on this one. Um, so tell us what your grassroots efforts are during this election.
Well, I've been doing a lot of postcards for Scott and helping them out whenever they can. Been doing phone calls recently too. We're trying to register as many people as we can because we got to beat the Democrats in November.
That is definitely the plan. We definitely got to beat the Democrats in November, and we have two big races in the York County, don't we? We have to re-elect Scott Perry against Janelle Stelson,
Yep.
who's a Democrat. Apparently, from what I've been hearing, is that she's trying to do something that hasn't been done since World War II, and that is win a district seat that she doesn't live in.
Hmm.
Um, and so that's a huge challenge. And I also heard that, correct me if I'm wrong, but she does not live in the PA 10th district.
No, she does not. I forget where. I heard that she lives somewhere else. I just don't know exactly where, but go figure. Democrat
Happens.
policies. So,
Right. So, and that's been a huge thing in Pennsylvania, probably since for years. Nobody wants a a representative or a congressman that doesn't know Pennsylvanians or York Countyans um, well on what the atmosphere is like. I mean, just take a look what happened with how people felt about Dr. Oz running in the 2022 race. Nobody didn't want him because he was from New Jersey, and
yep.
everybody thought he was a carpetbagger, and you know, was just in it for himself. So that's a huge thing, and I truly believe that her requirements need to be challenged for sure. I mean, nobody's bringing this up. Nobody's saying anything. I mean, other than maybe Scott Perry's campaign, but um, I've read several articles on ABC 27 where people were like, Scott Perry. I know Scott Perry, and if Scott Perry lived next to me, I would vote for him in a heartbeat. He's got the backbone and the values that the Republican Party supports. Where Janelle Stelson doesn't live in here, and some people didn't really care whether
hmm
they lived outside of the district or in the district or in York County. Um, so I mean, how do you feel about that?
I think it's very ridiculous that she's still able to run her campaign against Scott. I still think Scott will win. It's a lean district, so um, I think we have the advantage. Democrat mail-in requests are down. I don't know if you heard about that. They're down over 300,000 over this year compared to 2020. They were at like 1.9 million total. They're only at like 700,000 in the state. So
Well, that's a lot more than it was in the primary one. It was like 90,000 mail-in ballots.
yeah,
So, I mean, that's huge. That's a huge
yes,
chunk of mail-in ballots to be casted in for just a primary where hardly was like 28 or 30 some percent turnout in York County.
yeah.
Not sure about the um, Pennsylvania county wide, but it is huge.
I
I mean,
know.
I'm surprised more people are coming out to vote in person in this election.
Well, yeah, because they know that this is the do or die. And from what I heard, Scott's only down like 3,000 mail ins compared to 2022 or 2020. I don't know which one. But she's down more than he is. So he's catching up with the mail ins, which is really good. So,
That is really good, yeah, definitely, and especially with a $3 million campaign ad against Scott Perry from Janelle Stelson's campaign.
Yep.
He's doing pretty good. I think the Grassroots are definitely behind Scott Perry in this race for sure. At least I'm hoping it is. If it's
PA
not, they need to get
Chases.
behind them. What?
PA Chases.
PHAs is behind him?
Yeah, they wanted to support him and the founder, I forget his name. I just watched a video on it today. He said they're going to be chasing over 500,000 mail-ins. So they're going to be going to the people that received them or that requested them, and they're going to grab them and bring them to the county offices and run away with it. So it's a very good thing.
And he was also just, I heard that he was also just endorsed by Turning Point Action. Just recently,
Yes.
like 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Yes. It's
So that
great.
is definitely a huge endorsement to have for such a small candidate in your county here, and because nobody that I know of has been endorsed by TP Action that's ran in any of these elections, and it's all been
Especially,
GOP endorsed.
yeah, especially in Pennsylvania. I think some of the U.S. House Representatives are a little weak. I think Scott's your toughest MAGA leader in the House, and we definitely need someone in the House from our state representing us that is very MAGA and that stands for our values.
Yeah, I believe that as well. He's also the Freedom Caucus, right, leader?
Or I thought he was, but I thought what's his face from Virginia took over. But I'm not 100% sure on that. So,
Uh, wow.
but yeah,
So yeah, I truly believe that we got to the mega movement is more than just Donald Trump in this case. It is a populist movement, and it's got to I mean, look what we have accomplished in the past 3 years. The people have taken out the first ever House Speaker, vacated him from the House, Kevin McCarthy. It's taken over the GOP state by state and county by county. What else have we done? We took out RNC leadership with Ronna McDaniel and her cohorts, and replaced it with Laura Trump and Michael Watley. So this is all the people's movement, and it's got to stay the people's movement past Trump's administration. It's totally grassroots, and people need to get involved and um, line up at the polls completely. I mean, this is their fight for their freedoms back and to be better off like we were in 4 years ago. And
take your country,
so,
man.
yeah, our country, our republic, our counties, and our districts. I
Hmm.
mean, House has, from what I heard, from what I've been hearing is the PA House has been a lame duck session since 2022 because we lost majority in the House and we can't pass
Yep.
anything. So we need the majority back in the House. I think what happened, I think with one or two guys had left from the Democrat side that made it almost even.
Wow.
And so yeah, so we need to gain those seats back that the Democrats have left, and gain back in the PA House as well as the U.S. House of Congress, and especially the White House. I mean, like it says, local action affects national action. So,
Yep. Action,
and a
action,
lot of
action.
people don't understand that.
Yep. Yes. So there's two Democrats. If they left, what's the majority now?
I believe it was
Wasn't it
from
101 to 100 or something like that?
yeah, it's like 101 to 100 or something, or 101 to 102.
Okay. I don't know if it changed or not.
Yeah, because I think 2022 we had a special election because that guy had just passed away right before he was elected.
Mm.
I forget where that was, and then we had two drop out. I think it was two that dropped out of the U.S. House, and we need to fill that out as well. Um, but yeah, we definitely need the majority back in the House for one, and in the PA House. Even though they're like, I mean, it's too late to decide, you know, to get better candidates at this point. I
Yeah.
mean, so we need just a straight Republican up and down the ballot, you know, for this general election, and a huge red wave, not the trickle that we had in 2022,
Yep.
that everybody was counting on. But we just need to continue to fight to take out the deep state, to deconstruct the administrative state, and just keep fighting for our freedoms. And I mean, getting involved. I mean, there's so many ways you can get involved. I mean, there's still time to be a Trump Force 47 captain. It's not too late. It's only 49 days to election day.
Yep.
Um, become a precinct committeeman. In I mean, God, I mean, everybody just needs to stay involved and use your agency, use, your public comment time, school board meetings, commissioner meetings. Use your First Amendment. Because that's what's really counts. If you want change, gotta speak up, guys.
Yep, I totally agree. Gotta register them voters right now because Scott Presler's going around the Commonwealth and he's registering people, standing outside of sheets, calling. I mean, those are things that we really need to do because we are winning. It's just how are we going to counteract with the Democrats and their shenanigans? I mean, yes, I think we can counteract it this time because we got a better RNC and we don't have any rhino RNC leadership that won't do anything. And also, the RNC, they pledged over 100,000 volunteers to watch all those ballots and everything. The last update I heard, Michael Watley was on Fox News and he said there was over 150,000. That was, I think, maybe July or August. So right now, I'd assume that we are very close to 300,000 volunteers just on that front. And then you got the lawyers, which I heard they wanted 500, but I don't know if they got any more, which any more helps at this point. But we're very prepared. I think more because they're starting to do injunctions. Their lawyers are, from what I heard today on War Room, from I forget who was talking about it, but they were talking about their RNC is going to do injunctions, so they're not doing it last minute, and just a good thing, which everyone should be happy and proud for that. So yeah,
Yeah, I mean, we got Protect the Vote out there. We got Trump Force 47. There's
yep,
going to be poll watching poll workers. We got the whole RNC lawyers that's going to be watching the swing states and battleground states. And we had a huge win. Was it this? I think it was this week, wasn't it? We have a huge win for the PA Supreme Court with
yep,
the fraud that they just completely admitted that there was fraud in the ballots and the envelopes not matching the dates, and
yep.
that's huge considering that it's a Democrat Supreme Court. I mean, who would ever thought that Democrats would admit that there be fraud? You thought they would take it to the Commonwealth again and have it challenged.
They reversed it 5-4 or whatever the ruling was. It was by one, but there's only two Republicans in the Supreme Court in Pennsylvania, so it just tells you that I think a lot of these judges, I think they're more awakened of what happened in 2020, and I think the country because what the Democrats are doing is just it's lawfare and it's just bogus crap that should never have happened in our country. So.
Yes. The other thing, I don't usually mention this on here, but uh just the other day, Trump was again attempted assassination number three. The Democrats just keep on trying. They're 0-2 for it, or 0-3 for it now.
Yeah.
And more that the media brings it up, the more his ratings go up, guys. And we need. I mean, he's taken the bullet for us several times, and we need to keep fighting for him since he's fighting for us. So that means everybody needs to be out there on November 5th, and out there between now and November 5th, volunteering for your GOP and your candidates and Trump, and doing what Nick is doing with early vote action. Um, because this is the only way we're going to get it back. And they're going to try either to kill him before the election's over so they win it, or they're going to try to steal it again like they did in 2020 and in 2022. Because clearly both Trump and Mastriano should have been our governor and our president,
Yes.
and both of those. So we definitely need all the force, all of our shock troops out there and soldiers on the ground going to low voters and getting out the vote, making calls,
Chasing
um,
their ballots.
chasing the ballots. I mean, TP Action's got a great app for that. You can, as well as Early Vote Action
Yep.
and
Right.
PA
They all
Chase.
do. Yep.
They're all free apps. You can just put your name, number, and do text and make calls and postcards and so forth. I mean, I I say this on every podcast. I give you the tools to equip the citizens so you can take over your elections and take it back from the Democrats, guys. I can't stress it enough. This is a movement. This is the people's movement, guys. So, you have anything else you want to add on to that?
Yeah. Yeah. We would have won in 2022 if we had an actual RNC. Um. Yeah, because the Democrats out mail and balloted us. Yeah, but everyone that's listening, get involved. I'm only 26 years old, and this is a one in a lifetime opportunity that I realize that our country could be either on the good side or you could be on the bad side. So I highly recommend you guys getting involved. You can do 5 a day, you can do 10 a day, phone calls, texts, door knocks, postcards, whatever. I started up doing a lot, but it's financially expensive, but you have to nimble your way through and find what is best for you because there's a lot of volunteers now that are doing this because we're all in here to save our great country.
I'm into that, definitely.
Yep.
What else? I was going to say, yes, definitely. We were. I mean, everybody was calling for a red wave in 2022, and all we got was a trinkle because we didn't have a RNC. We had a weak RNC leadership who spent millions of dollars on plane trips, alcohol, floral arrangements for for their own good, and didn't put it towards chasing ballots or election integrity security and lawsuits like they have been doing for swing states. And it's all thanks to you guys that we are going to win this because it was the people that took out Ronna McDaniel and her cohort, co-chair, and the rest of them, and people that took over the RNC committee seats all the way up and down the counties and the counties and state GOPs, and we need to continue to do that.
Yep.
The next election, I believe, for Pennsylvania for state and GOP is 2026. So if
Yep.
you're not a precinct committeeman or a state committeeman, I suggest you call. You can even call and get appointed as a committee person, um, or you can be voted on and elected into office in 2026. But this is how we take over the GOP, guys. You need to get inside the GOP to take it over, and we have done that. And we started doing that in 2022. I know Free PA was involved. I know PA Economic Growth Pact got involved. People
Tony
that
Schumer.
never heard of what?
Tony Schup.
Oh yeah, Tony Schipp got involved. John Fredericks
Yep.
of John Fredericks Radio Show got involved.
Yep.
There's so many people that got involved in their GOP, guys, and it's time that we take over the people, take over the 400,000 empty seats across the country, and vacant GOPs, and this is how we will win.
Yep. Just remember, Democrats are scared now because we actually have an RNC that is able to fight, and every lawsuit that they have filed, we have won. And they just filed new lawsuits last week, which will probably be heard this week somehow. And you also got the Mike Lindell Dominion thing that just came out yesterday. So the judge ordered to September 20th that Dominion's owner he has to write something down or something, give a paper to the judge, and it's not your Republican judge; it's your Democrat judge from D.C. We're talking far left D.C. judge. So just tells you that once the Democrats are very scared now because we're on the ropes of reeling all of them out, and the swamp is very scared as well, which they should be, because we are going to win. And win PA, it's all over, ladies and gentlemen.
The other big one I was going to say was we have an opportunity to lock down York County by kicking out Carol Hill Evans of the 95th district and replacing her with Jasmine Rivera. So
Yeah.
get involved in her campaign as well, because it's been since the 80s since York County's been locked down, and we can have a huge red wave right here locally in York County, and for the next 4 years to come, and maybe even longer. I mean, that tiny, because York County used to be red all around it, except for that little tiny city in York City, 95th district, that Carol Hill Evans, um, who is literally the most laziest and does not laziest district representative state rep that we have in the PA House. At least I think so at this point. I'm sure there's plenty of others that think so, but she hardly does anything. Even her even her constituents doesn't even know that there's a state rep in their city, and she votes horrible on legislation and votes. And so last year, actually in 2022, she paid $300 to keep her campaign finance. Um, and this year, she has now $4,000 donated to her by none other than York County Commissioner Doug Hoke, who is a Democrat himself. So imagine that, Democrats backing Democrats in this election. And he calls himself a moderate. So just imagine donating that to somebody who does nothing and who is advocating for liberal and Democrat um, associations. You can look this up, guys. I'm not going to post it on here, but you can go to Follow the Money or votesmart.org and look up Carol Hill Evans and find out what she votes for, who she's advocating for, who's paid her money. Um, one is PA, what is it called? PA abortion or something like that. It's called PA abortion, Pennsylvania Abortion Association or something like that. So we got to stop candidates like that. Just like Janelle is all for women's reproductive rights. I use Orwellian terms here, but it's not our reproductive right if you're stopping somebody else from living. So we need to kick her out and make a huge re-election for both of those candidates, Scott Perry and Jasmine Riviera,
Yep.
because it's got to be big.
Very big.
Would you like to add?
No, I don't know much about her campaign other than I heard that she could obviously win, which we would all like. But it's York City. It's very liberal. I don't know um how much Democrats have flipped Democratic from Republican down there in York, because I haven't been down there that much. But I'm hoping a lot of Democrats have flipped, especially that Black Latino community down there. So we need to buff the state majority in the House. Definitely, we're going to keep the Senate. That's going to be a hold, obviously, but we really need to get the state house going, because we got a liberal governor, unfortunately. Until we can elect a new one, uh, we're gonna have to just pass legislation. It'd be nice if we got veto proof, but who knows that that'll even happen.
Yeah, definitely. Um, so yeah, I mean, and then we also have 31st candidate Don Kiefer, who
Yep.
is running for Senate.
Yep.
So and Mark Anderson is taking Mark Anderson of the 92nd is taking um, um, Don Kiefer's seat. So
Yes, sir.
that's definitely another one that we need to get out as well. He is completely school choice and
Yep.
parental rights. He's a teacher himself,
Yep.
um,
I know
a
him very
history
well.
teacher, and so we definitely need to get both of those candidates in. And those are that's your districts right there, right?
Yeah.
92nd and 31st,
Yeah. I
or no, you
know.
92nd and 10th.
Yeah. I know him
Yeah.
very well. I know his children. I graduated under his one son. I saw Mark a lot. He was a great teacher in when I was in high school. I didn't have him, but I knew of him. So yeah, he's a good candidate. I like him. I think he'll win, just like Don Kiefer's district. It's MAGA red, so I don't think it will flip at all or anything like that. So I think that'll be a hold on on the Republican side. So yeah, I'm glad.
Yeah, that would be awesome if it stays mega red. And I mean, I see you out there. I see Elizabeth Gallo out there supporting him, and
Yeah.
uh, many others that are out there. Don Kiefer has been door knocking as well, and McCormick was with him. So yeah, we definitely have a ground game going,
Yeah.
and we need to keep it going. Um, I think this is the one of the biggest operations that we've had in a long time. Um, Again, I think a huge reason why we lost in 2023 for our state um, candidates is because a lot of people uh, didn't want Carolyn Coluccio and
Yeah.
um, what you call it. They wanted what's his name, Pat McCullough, Patricia McCullough, and Josh Prince out there,
Yep.
and nobody wanted to campaign for them or door knock for them. They all wanted those two, even
That's what
though
I heard.
so it's sadly Josh Prince people that supported Josh Prince in the GOP were being kicked out for supporting them, and then
That's
state GOP had a meeting and saying no, that's not what happened, and so forth. So, but it's crazy. I mean, I can see it happening. Lawrence Tavis has his ways, and so, and he's another. I mean, that's that's a whole
despise that
part of
guy.
the boosting strategy right there. We need to, from bottom to top, we need people running from uh, the state GOP to the RNC seats. We need to replace those that are involved, and we had a chance to in the RNC chair election. Um, about a year ago oh no, not the RNC chair election, the convention. I think the RNC convention, I think it was like 56 Republican committeemen, RNC committeemen, and 56 Republican committee women. That's like 2/3 of the RNC completely are up for election at that time
Good.
during the convention. And so we need, and I don't know how the state PA GOP works here, but I heard that we have a caucus for
Yeah.
those during the spring. I think it is, and we need to replace. I think Lawrence Tabbas is up. I think and two others are still in. So,
Mm.
and we need to replace Lawrence Tabbas because he has misled us since he's got in. Made sure he was good election integrity in 2016, election integrity lawyer, but 2022 was a fail because he led
Yep.
us the wrong way. 2023 was also a fail because he led us the wrong way. And so now now here we are, with a ultra liberal governor and full house of Democrats in the PA House, and so we need to gain back that majority in 2024 because it's our only chance.
Hmm.
So
Yes, I agree. Before I go, the last thing I wanted to say was I do think Dave McCormick's gonna win. If you've been looking closely
You
at the
don't?
poll, what?
You say you do, you don't.
Oh, I do. I do think he's gonna win because if you've been looking at the polling, all these pollsters are oversampling Democrats over Republicans, and I haven't seen one poll that's been over 4. So I do think that Donald J. Trump can push him over the finish line. It's just depending on how much. But I do think he can win. It's possible. If he wins, we'll have a better majority in the Senate than we ever thought imaginable. I think the threshold is between 52 and maybe 55 if we get Michigan, which I think we can. Wisconsin is iffy because the polling's not very accurate there. Maryland right now, it seems like Hogan is holding on, but I don't know if he can. And Virginia's going to be blue. And I don't think we'll win Nevada, but
Wow, that's
President,
huge
President,
for Virginia.
yeah, President Trump will push over in Nevada, I think. But as of right now in Virginia, Tim Kaine, the polling within him has him. I think I saw a couple over double digits, but I'm not sure. It all depends. It's gonna be a close state general election as well, but that's my analysis on that. But yeah,
Well, I'm glad that, from what I'm hearing, I'm glad that I hope that does happen because another 4 years of Casey is just another rubber stamp for Biden and Harris.
yeah, it is.
And I mean, the only reason why he's in there is because of his family and his money,
Yep,
and he really hasn't done anything but run.
that's all it
Um,
is. And vote for
so,
Democrat policies.
yep. So I'm glad that it's looking up because every time I looked at polls, it always said that Casey was leading McCormick, but that's definitely reassuring.
Yeah,
Um, and I just saw your poll on Facebook for Trump and Harris, with us being 50% and Harris being like 40 some percent.
yeah. That poll was from Insider Polling. They're more right leaning, but they're more fair. It's a +2 poll, and then um Suffolk had a poll last night. They're more liberal. They got 2020 wrong, 2016 wrong. They had Hillary Clinton win in 2016 by 10. They had Joe Biden win by 7 in 2020, and they got that within 1.5. But the last poll last night is 3% Joe Biden. But here's the kicker: they had 5% undecided. You don't have that many undecided people. Yeah. So with that 3 point spread, I think Trump wins that poll. I'd say within 2. But yeah, so President Trump's doing really well in polling, especially now lately in PA. Some people even have him +3 as of how everything's been, especially the second attempt of assassination. So yeah, it's really going in our favor. And thank you for having me on your show, and I'll definitely come back.
All right. Thank you for your time, Nick.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Yep, you too. Well, there you have it, guys. We went live with special guest Grassroots, Nick DelVecchio, who is in the 92nd. He's with Early Road Action. He is very smart, wise, and talented. And stay tuned to other special guests with us and with me, and stay tuned to my podcast as we continue um, giving you special guest and the news from local perspective. Well, that's all I have for you guys. Have a good night.